Dear soul, come closer. If you have felt that life is quietly shifting beneath your feet, you are not imagining it, and you do not have to face this uncertainty alone. I am Kaelon, one of the elders of the Arcturian Council. By the end of our time together, you'll understand how to recognize the number one sign that the Source is preparing you for a move very soon, and why these signs may be appearing in a way only you can know. But first, let me share something I've observed across many ages, something that might bring you comfort. Many starseeds sense a coming change long before their outer life reflects it. That restlessness does not mean you are lost. It may simply mean your spirit is making room for what is next. This is a quiet moment between us. Take only what brings peace and stay with me until the end, if these words resonate. And I'm grateful you're here with me now. If everything shared in this message resonates deep in your spirit, if you've always sensed something shifting inside you but couldn't name it, then you may find comfort in what I've put together. It's called The Dark Side of Spiritual Awakening, a complete guide with 13 chapters covering every phase of this journey, along with 9 exclusive tools, including emergency cards, shadow work, and 30 days of channeled guidance from Kaelon. I also built an exclusive app so you can carry everything with you. But I need to be honest, I'm only keeping this available for a limited time. Once I close access, it's gone. The link is in the first pinned comment. If your soul brought you to this message, perhaps you might honor what it is asking you to notice right now. I understand why your heart may feel both excited and uncertain. When a possibility begins to appear so strongly within us, the mind often reaches for proof. It asks, is this truly happening? Am I imagining it? Should I begin preparing, or should I wait? These questions do not mean that your faith is weak. They mean that you are human, dear one, standing at the edge of something that matters. Even Abraham left the familiar before he knew the destination, carrying only a promise and the courage to take the next step. Sometimes faith is not a thunderous certainty. Sometimes it is simply the willingness to remain present while the path reveals itself. I have witnessed this moment across many lifetimes. A soul senses that a chapter is closing before the outer world has changed. There may be no suitcase beside the door, no confirmed address, no final conversation, and yet something within you begins to loosen its attachment to the place you have known. The familiar surroundings may still be around you, but they no longer hold you in quite the same way. You may walk through your home and feel that you are already saying goodbye to a version of yourself who lived there. The walls remain, the streets remain, and the daily routines continue. But your relationship with them has shifted. It is as if an invisible tide has begun drawing you toward another shore. This is often where confusion begins. Many souls believe that a sign must arrive as a dramatic event, a loud message, or an unmistakable miracle. Yet what I have observed is that the deepest signs are frequently quiet. They may arrive as a repeated inner knowing, a gentle loss of interest in what once consumed you, an unexpected clearing of old responsibilities, or a strange peace that appears whenever you imagine the next chapter. Elijah did not find the divine only in the wind, the fire, or the earthquake, but in the still, small voice. Your guidance may speak in that same language, beneath the noise of fear and the pressure to decide immediately. There is a difference between fear and knowing. Fear usually rushes, demands certainty, and paints many painful futures at once. It tells you that if you do not act now, everything will be lost. Knowing is quieter. It may return again and again without forcing itself upon you. It does not always tell you every detail. It simply places a small lamp along the next few steps. Fear grips the body like a clenched fist. Knowing often gives you enough room to breathe. Even when it asks you to be brave, it does not ask you to destroy yourself in the process. Perhaps you've been noticing that your attention keeps returning to one place, one opportunity, one conversation, or one possibility. Perhaps you've been seeing the same number, hearing the same phrase, encountering the same theme in different places. It is natural to wonder whether these moments are meaningful. They may be invitations to become more attentive, but they do not need to be treated as guarantees. A sign is not meant to replace your discernment. It is meant to help you listen more honestly to what is already stirring within you. The wise heart observes without becoming obsessed. It gathers the threads, but it does not weave every coincidence into a command. The source does not need to frighten you into movement. What is truly aligned with your unfolding will not require you to abandon your wisdom, your safety, or your care for the practical world. Spiritual guidance and grounded preparation can walk together. If a move is forming, You might gently ask yourself what small, sensible step would bring greater clarity. You might review your resources, explore possibilities, speak with a trusted person, or simply begin releasing what you no longer wish to carry. None of this diminishes the sacredness of the sign. It gives the sign a place to become real. Moses received a calling, but he still had to walk, speak, organize, and lead, one step at a time. I know that waiting can be difficult. Sometimes the inner revelation arrives long before the outer permission. Your spirit may feel ready while circumstances still seem tangled. This in-between place can make you question everything. You may wonder whether you missed the moment, misunderstood the message, or somehow delayed what was meant for you. Please be gentle with yourself here. A seed does not fail because it spends time beneath the soil. Much of its becoming is invisible. Winter may look like stillness to the impatient eye, while beneath the ground, roots are preparing for spring. What I have seen is that movement often begins inwardly. Before the body changes location, the soul begins to change its relationship with the old place. You may find yourself less willing to explain your choices to people who have never understood your path. You may feel drawn to simplify your belongings, protect your energy, or imagine a life that once seemed too far away. These changes may feel strange at first. They are not proof that you must leave immediately. They may simply show that your inner world is making room for a different way of living. The room is being cleared before the new furniture arrives. There is tenderness in this preparation. You are not only moving away from a physical environment, you may be moving away from an identity built around endurance, compromise, or survival. Perhaps you became known as the one who could tolerate anything. Perhaps you learned to remain where you were needed, even when your spirit grew tired. If a new chapter is approaching, it may ask you to become someone who is allowed to receive support, beauty, rest, and belonging. You may have been taught that love must be earned through sacrifice, but the next season may teach you that love can also feel like shelter. The first gentle step that has helped many souls in this season is allowing the possibility without demanding a deadline. You might say quietly, "Something new may be opening for me, and I am willing to meet it with wisdom." This leaves room for hope without placing pressure upon your life. You do not need to force the door open. You might simply become willing to notice which doors are opening naturally and which ones continue to ask you to betray your peace. A true invitation may stretch you, but it will not continually require you to abandon your values. Many souls find that their clearest signs arrive when they stop chasing signs. I know this may feel difficult, especially when you've waited a long time for change. But when the mind is searching desperately, every coincidence can feel like an instruction. When the heart becomes still, meaning has room to reveal itself more gently. Consider giving yourself a few quiet minutes each day without asking what will happen. Let your breathing settle. Let the question rest. Notice what remains when urgency grows quiet. As Psalm 46 reminds us, there is wisdom in becoming still and remembering that you are not required to control every current moving through your life. The next step is to listen to the feeling beneath the desire to move. Sometimes the wish to leave is carrying a true call toward expansion. Sometimes it is asking for relief from an environment that has become painful. Often, both are present. There is no shame in wanting relief. Your longing may be wise, but it deserves compassionate examination. You might ask, am I being drawn toward a fuller life, or am I only trying to escape this moment? There may be no immediate answer. The question itself can help you distinguish a grounded calling from an impulse born of exhaustion. Even if you are escaping pain, you still deserve compassion. Discernment does not require you to judge the place from which you began. If your present environment is unsafe or harming you, practical support matters deeply. Reaching toward trusted people, professional resources, or local assistance is not a failure of spiritual trust. Your well-being is sacred. The source can work through ordinary help, clear planning, and caring human beings. A divine path does not ask you to remain in danger to prove your faith. There is no holiness in neglecting your protection. Sometimes the most spiritual act is making the phone call, telling the truth, securing a safe place, or allowing another person to stand beside you. Another gentle practice is to prepare without clinging. You might gather important documents, make a simple list of what you would need, learn about possible locations, or set aside a small amount of energy and resources when you can. These acts need not announce that the future is guaranteed. They simply tell your nervous system, I am willing to support the person I am becoming. Even organizing one drawer or releasing a few items can create a sense of movement within you. Preparation turns vague longing into a conversation with reality, and reality often responds more clearly when we meet it with calm attention. I understand that letting go of belongings can awaken memories. A room is never only a room. It may contain years of sorrow, laughter, waiting, and becoming. You do not have to discard everything in one dramatic gesture. You might hold each object and ask whether it belongs to the life you are carrying forward. Some things may come with you, some may be thanked and released. Some may need to remain until the timing becomes clear. There is wisdom in allowing the process to be gradual. Release is not always a fire. Sometimes it is a leaf loosening from a branch because the season has changed. As you prepare inwardly, notice the relationships that respond to your growth. Some people may celebrate your possibilities. Others may become uncomfortable because your movement changes the role they expected you to play. This can be painful, dear one. You may have spent years making yourself smaller so others could remain comfortable. When you begin to expand, their uncertainty does not automatically mean that you are wrong. At the same time, you do not need to turn every relationship into a battle. You might let your choices become clear through calm consistency rather than constant explanation. Not everyone is entitled to every detail of your becoming. There is also a sign many souls overlook: peace after making a practical choice. Not excitement alone, not the rush of fantasy, but a quiet steadiness. You may still feel nervous, yet somewhere beneath the nervousness, there is a sense that you are no longer divided against yourself. This kind of peace can be very small. It may appear when you send an email, research an option, speak a needed truth, or choose not to return to an old pattern. Notice these moments. They are evidence that your inner guidance grows stronger when you honor it with gentle action. Each aligned choice is like a small stone placed across a stream. Eventually, you realize you have begun to cross. The path may not unfold in the order you imagined. You may think the home comes first, then the work, then the relationships, then the confidence. Yet life sometimes offers one small piece before the others are ready. A conversation may come before the opportunity. A clearing may come before the opportunity. A clearing may come before the invitation. A period of rest may come before the journey. Try not to judge the sequence too quickly. A river does not apologize for curving around the land. What appears to be a delay may be the path learning the shape of your life. When doubt returns, and it likely will, you might place one hand over your heart and another over your abdomen. Feel the support beneath your body. Then ask, what is the kindest, truthful step available to me today? Not the biggest step, not the step that proves anything to anyone, the kindest, truthful step. Perhaps it is making a plan. Perhaps it is resting. Perhaps it is asking for help. Perhaps it is admitting that you are not ready yet. All of these can belong to an awakening life. You are not measured by how dramatically you move, but by how honestly you move. Your movement may be physical, but the deeper movement is toward self-trust. For so long, you may have looked outside yourself for permission to begin. You may have waited for someone to confirm that your longing was legitimate, but I have watched many beautiful souls discover that confirmation becomes less necessary when they begin treating their own experience with respect. The inner voice that was once barely audible becomes clearer when you stop silencing it before it finishes speaking. This does not mean believing every thought or acting upon every impulse. Self-trust is not the absence of discernment. It is the willingness to hear yourself without immediately dismissing what you hear. It is the patience to test an insight gently, to gather information, and to remain open to correction. The soul is not offended by carefulness. Wisdom often moves slowly because it cares about the whole of your life. You can pray and research. You can feel deeply and check the facts. You can honor mystery while still reading the agreement before signing it. And if the move does not happen as soon as you hope, please do not interpret delay as rejection. Sometimes the delay protects you from a choice made before you had all the information. Sometimes it brings a better arrangement, a safer opportunity, or a more prepared version of yourself. Sometimes the outer circumstances need time to catch up with an inner transformation that has already begun. The promise may be alive even when the calendar appears empty. You are allowed to be disappointed by delay. Spiritual maturity does not require you to pretend that waiting feels pleasant. You may grieve the time lost, feel tired of uncertainty, or wish the next chapter would arrive today. Let those feelings have a place without allowing them to define the whole story. A cloudy day is still part of the season, but it is not the entire sky. Tears do not cancel faith. Frustration does not cancel guidance. You can be weary and still be walking toward healing. There may come a moment when the sign is no longer only something you notice, but something you embody. You begin speaking differently. You make choices from dignity rather than fear. You no longer negotiate with the part of you that knows what has ended. You may still feel tender, but you are no longer begging the past to become a home again. This is often how the threshold announces itself, not with noise, but with a quiet realization that you have already become someone who can cross it. The door was not merely waiting for you, you were becoming ready to meet what stood beyond it. Dear one, you do not have to carry the whole journey tonight. You do not have to know the exact date, the exact destination, or every person who will meet you there. Let today be enough for today. If the path is opening, it will continue to offer the next piece in a form you can actually hold. Your task is not to control the entire unfolding, it is to remain awake, honest, and kind to yourself as the unfolding takes place. Even a small act of care can be an agreement with the future. Perhaps, when you are ready, you might write 3 simple sentences. What am I being invited to release? What am I being invited to prepare? What support would make this transition gentler? Do not force beautiful answers. Let the page receive whatever is true. Sometimes the first honest sentence is more powerful than 100 polished affirmations. Let your writing be a window rather than a performance. You may discover that beneath the fear is a need, beneath the need is a truth, and beneath the need is a truth, and beneath the truth is a direction. And if you feel nothing when you ask these questions, that is welcome too. Rest is not disconnection. Silence is not abandonment. The source can be present in a quiet day, in an ordinary meal, in a conversation that makes you laugh, and in the simple act of returning to yourself. Not every sacred sign arrives as a revelation. Some arrive as the strength to continue caring for your life while the next chapter is still forming. Sometimes the miracle is not knowing what comes next, yet choosing to remain gentle. I believe there is a part of you that already recognizes the difference between being pushed and being guided. Being pushed leaves you breathless and afraid to pause. Being guided may still ask courage from you, but it does not require you to become cruel toward yourself. It gives you room to move with awareness. It allows you to bring your whole heart, not just your desperation. The path of guidance may challenge your comfort, but it will not demand that you despise the person who survived the past. So let the signs meet you where you are. Let them become invitations rather than demands. If you are moving soon, may the path become clear through practical opportunities, supportive people, and a deepening peace. If the timing needs to unfold differently, may you be protected from unnecessary harm and guided toward what truly belongs to you. Either way, you are not forgotten. Your life is not standing still simply because the visible landscape has not yet changed. The unseen is often gathering strength before it becomes visible. Dear one, you may go slowly. You may prepare in small pieces. You may change your mind as new understanding arrives. Growth is not a straight road, and spiritual movement does not always look like constant progress. There will be days when you feel certain, and days when you need to begin again. Neither day cancels the other. Both belong to the becoming. A spiral may look like repetition, yet each turn can bring you to a higher understanding of the same lesson. I have watched souls stand where you are standing now, convinced that their lives would remain unchanged forever. Then, through one conversation, one opening, one brave but gentle choice, the landscape began to shift. Often they later realized that the movement had started much earlier in the moment. They allowed themselves to imagine something kinder. Imagination was not an escape from reality. It was the first glimpse of a reality they had not yet learned to claim. May you remember that your longing for a new home, a new environment, or a new beginning is not something to mock or suppress. It deserves listening, and it also deserves patience, planning, and care. You are not required to leap blindly in order to prove that you trust the source. You can walk with open eyes. You can ask questions. You can receive help. You can take the next step only when it is yours to take. The sacred and the practical are not enemies. A prayer can become a budget, a boundary, a conversation, or a carefully chosen direction. Tonight, if you wish, you might place your hand upon your heart and say, I am willing to meet my next chapter with wisdom. I do not need to rush what is becoming. Let the words rest within you. They do not need to create an immediate feeling. Sometimes a blessing begins as a sentence we are only learning to believe. Repeat it when the mind demands an answer. Let it become a quiet shelter until certainty arrives in its own time. I am proud of the way you continue listening. Even after disappointment, I am grateful for the tenderness you still carry, even after being misunderstood. And I believe in your capacity to recognize what is true, release what has completed its purpose, and move toward a life that does not require you to abandon yourself. You have already crossed many thresholds that once seemed impossible. The evidence of your strength is written in the fact that you are still here, still seeking, still willing to hope. Wherever you are when the next door opens, may you have the courage to notice it. Wherever you are when the timing becomes clear, may you have the support to respond. And until then, may you feel the quiet companionship of those who walk beside you in spirit, even when no human voice is near. May your sleep be peaceful, your decisions be protected, and your heart remember that a closed door is not always punishment. Sometimes it is the way life turns you toward the opening meant for you. Before we part, I have a small request. If something here touched you, share it in the comments. Not for me, but for yourself. Writing it makes it real. And if you see someone else's words below, offer them a moment of your warmth. We grow faster when we grow together. If someone you love needs to hear this, pass it along. Sometimes the greatest gift we give is simply sharing what helped us. And if you'd like to continue these conversations, subscribe. I'll be here whenever you need. Thank you for sitting with me today. Carry what serves you. Return whenever you wish. You are always welcome here.